Hey James, what's going on, buddy?
Nothing. How are you?
Mm,
You must be a good
Pretty
guy.
good, man.
You're dressed all in white, so that means you're a good guy.
I guess so.
Even the light looks
We're
like
coming up in about 15 seconds here. guys.
even the light
15
behind him. Look,
seconds.
it looks like a little halo. You know, like when they do the like the Mexican paintings of Jesus. That's what it looks like. He's angelic now. I didn't know that, James. Wow. Okay, that's a
Uh,
good sign. That is a good omen. Let me tell you that.
Here we go, guys. Coming up.
It is 8:10 Newstalk Sauga 960 Raw. Mike Richards, David Bastl, and as you know, on Tuesdays it is Meet the Steelheads, and it's something we look forward to each and every week. And hopefully, when people listen to it, they start to understand just sort of the collection of young guys that are on this team. What you're going to find immediately is they're all pretty awesome dudes, and they're pretty close. These guys really get along, and they have had to wait kind of a long time to get this going, and they have already. And so James Hardie joins us here this morning. How you doing, James?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, this I would think, I don't know, I just kind of have the feeling this is going to be a very motivated James Hardie this season. I don't know, it's just the way that things have played out, what your expectations are, and I know they're high. So I don't know, I just got a feeling that you've got the Jets going. I think I don't know, what do you think? Do you just feel like there's a real energy, that considering how long you've had to wait for this?
Yeah, exactly. I'd say there's definitely a big energy in our group, not just me and myself. I think in our group, I mean, we missed the whole season last year, so I think for a lot of the young guys even coming in that missed their rookie year, like that's a tough one. So, I think there's a lot of energy in our group and a lot of like big positive thoughts that we have on our team that are going to strive through and keep pushing because we had a big year here.
Before we go back on, I guess, your life in the OHL and hockey in general, let's talk about last weekend, because you got 2 weekends ago, you guys opened up with that big win in Kingston, but a little bit of a setback in North Bay and Barrie. Maybe talk about those two games on Friday and Saturday. And it looked like on the Friday game, you guys kind of controlled some of that as far as peppering a goaltender that was hot that game. But what was it from your eyes when you were in those games?
I thought we actually played pretty well. I thought we had a lot of good chances. I mean, their goalies played pretty well, but being that year, I mean, you're an OHL hockey player, you got to find a way to score a goal. I mean, we put up 40 shots, but you got to win games by scoring goals. So I think we still played well as a team. I think it's not like I mean, in the game in North Bay, we didn't really play our best game, but it's just somewhere to start. And we got 65 more games to go, so we're gonna look forward now.
Well, when you look at sort of what has transpired so far, for you, looking at what the team needs to do, what you want to do, and I always think it's big to sort of go over what happened in those games. So for you, even though you played well, like what were the kinds of things you thought that you should be doing better? What did you fall short on for you? Do you think the team did?
I think we just had a lack of communication. I think there was a few times where we were losing our guy in our D zone, and I think we had some times where we should have made a better play than throwing a blind pass or something like that. I think sometimes we just got to be smarter, and when you get tired, the brain stops working. But we got to be smarter with the ways we make plays and stuff.
We talked to a lot of the players about what they did during COVID, because obviously there was a lot of trainings. Most of the rinks were closed down. There was some outdoor skating too, which was a lot of fun, kind of different, but
Yeah.
but you kind of made with what you did. But for you, you got an opportunity with the Marlies. What do you remember about that? Obviously that wasn't too long ago, and what kind of things can you take out of that? Because you're playing with guys that have been there for 10 plus years. There's guys like you that are rookies everywhere in between, trying to make that ultimate goal. What do you take out of something like that, James?
It was honestly an experience that I'll never forget. I remember Super Bowl Sunday. I was sitting on my couch getting ready to watch the game, and I got a phone call from an agent say, "Pack your bags, you're going to Toronto." So like, oh sweet, like this is awesome. And I showed up there. It's Toronto. It's a dream. It's what everyone dreams to play with and be with. And it's cool to see what it's like to actually be a pro. I mean, taking private planes to games, steak dinners on the planes, like it's something that you dream of. And doing that was really cool. I mean, I was fortunate enough to train with all those guys and skate with Nick Robertson and guys like that. And, it was a great experience and something I'll never forget.
See, what I would have said is, I'm sorry, it's the Super Bowl. I don't know if you realize. I've got the nachos in front of me. I got beer. I have $1,000 on Kansas City. So you find yourself some other little player that's got nothing to do. Okay, we're all busy here. Now that's just what I would have done personally. I think you took it another way. See, as I told people today, you're wearing white. You're the good guy. Of course, that's what a good guy does. And you're also Innisfil. I mean, you probably did. You ever date like Miss Kempenfest? Like, that could be a thing for you.
No.
No, you never did, eh? Okay. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that wouldn't be a good idea. Looking at some of your teammates, and again, you talk about the rookies. Like, it's one thing when rookies come in, but when you miss the 18 months of like that year that you had, do you find that the young guys have really sort of suffered for that? Like, are there things that maybe you're helping out with younger guys that normally in a normal year you wouldn't have to do?
Yeah, I'd say that for sure. I mean, I think our coaches help out a lot in that sense too, but we're obviously there to help them. And I think for our team as a group, because how tight we are, we like to hang out a lot together. So I think a lot of our bonding comes with that, and it really helps us play well on the ice. So I think that's something that's really good in our group.
Mike, you talked to James about being a good guy. This might be one of the best guys on the Mississauga Steelheads, because if I'm correct, James, a couple of years ago, and it still happens to this day with the Steelheads, Pink at the Rink is a massive charity that this team puts forward with these awesome jerseys. And it digs a little deep with you, considering your family with it and how much you've kind of spearheaded this charity with the team. The charity side of it obviously means a lot to you and your family, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It definitely comes close to home. I mean, with my mom, with what happened, and when I was playing minor midget, it's something that really sucked. It's scary, obviously, but she's a fighter and she came through it. I think this Pink in the Rink game is something that I always look forward to. Something my family looks forward to, and it's a really good experience for us. And it's good to see her out there, because she comes out on the ice every year. She drops the puck for us, and it's a great time.
Yeah, it's one of those things that really makes an organization, to embrace something like that, because when you start talking about some of those issues, you don't have to go very far, James, to find another family, another friend, cousins, relatives that have, one way or the other been affected by this. You're lucky enough sometimes when you have a survivor in your family, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And how close and how a fine line that can be, and how it affects the entire family. So, it's one of the things that, and I do talk about it quite often with the organization. There's a real heart to it, and it's important. It's important because, not everyone goes pro. Not everyone goes on to fly in the jets. And, sometimes you go back and you become a citizen of the world. When you have that kind of background, when you have that sort of more than just hockey attitude, I think it adds to the team. It's one of the reasons why I think the guys are so close, because you guys tend to share quite a bit, and the organization sort of promotes that kind of thing. So, as I said, looking at what you've done so far, you've only played 3 games. It's been sort of an unbalanced season. Sudbury's already played 6 games. You have a lot in front of you, but you need more than just the X's and O's in hockey. And I think the team does provide that.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree with that.
James, it's funny because I knew that we'd be talking to every, key member of the Steelheads this year. So I want to go back a couple of years, because I watch a lot of Steelhead games on my hockey package, of course, and, definitely cheering for you out loud. But it was kind of funny because you're sitting on the bench and you have your stick up, and the camera catches what is actually on your stick, written on your stick.
Oh.
Now, a lot of people have their last names, like Richards or Bastl, or you'd think it would be Hardie, but it didn't say Hardie. Can you explain that for me?
Yeah, so it's actually a pretty funny story. My dad's got a tattoo on his arm that he did himself when he was 16 of a Playboy bunny. So, it's a running joke on our team. I've been called, and we started off with Playboy Junior, so we threw that on my sticks, and I thought it was pretty funny. I think everyone gets a good crack out of it, and I think it's something it just lightens the mood all the time when you see it. You're just like, that's pretty funny. You just laugh about it.
It is.
that is pretty good. Now, has your dad ever explained why he did it himself?
I honestly don't know, but it actually looks pretty good.
So he did a good job then. That's
He
good.
did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Because there's some people out there that do hatchet jobs on themselves. You know what I mean? It doesn't look good,
Yeah.
but hey, it nailed the logo. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's a skill that you want to pass down to your kids, I find. Is the homemade tattoo. Now, just because I have my goalie union card, you know, I look at, you know, to me, when you don't have a lot of hockey time for the goalies, like you need shots. Like it's hard to make that up, and it's hard to make up game time feel for, like, you know, it's one thing to shoot on your goalie, but it's another thing when the other guys shoot on your goalie. How have you found that so far with the guys that you got? Because you get some good ones on the team, but it's kind of finding your way, and you've only played 3 games. So again, to me, it's all about communication with those guys. How have you found that situation?
Yeah, I think just in practice, I mean, we communicate a lot more. We're working on a lot of systems and making sure we're making the right plays at the right time. So I think the more we work at it in practice, it's all going to come together. I mean, we're a really young group, but like every team is. I think once we get going as a group and we play more tight, I think we're going to surprise a lot of teams.
I wanted to ask you too, considering that you're one of the veteran players on the team, and there's, you know, a lot of leadership in that dressing room and so forth. Do you feel like as a guy that's been there since you were very young, and it's only been a couple of years, but do you feel a little bit of extra pressure to be that leader on the team, one of the leaders on the team, because people are looking up to you? Not only for production on the ice, but I guess the veteran presence in an OHL locker room.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say a lot of the guys are like that. I think it's not just me. I think it's a lot of the guys that have been here before. I think a lot of the rookies are going to look up to them and see, you know, what they should be doing, and, you know, how they should be doing stuff. So I think there's a lot of pressure on a lot of us, but I think, you know, we have a group in there that's willing to support and willing to help. And I think, you know, the rookies have a lot of help in our coaching staff and in us. So I think they're going to be set for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, what comes across, obviously, in this conversation does a lot of times just how, as I said, sort of there's a humility. It's almost a good, and you're a good guy, who, as we've seen by the white and the halo behind you. But there's got to be someone on the team that bugs you. Like, who do you not like? It's a little of the Mike Babcock. I want you to write a list of the guys that are a little irritating on the team. Who's the most irritating guy on the team, do you think?
Can I say Jeff Kazakos?
Absolutely, you can, of course.
Absolutely.
No,
And
I had him down as
that is
one.
correct for 800. Poor Crackers. Boy, does he get it on this show.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I wanted to ask you too. So we talk about the team aspect of things, and that's fantastic because you are a team first type of player. But individual statistics, obviously, you have a really good habit of sniping. Is there a goal you set out personally for yourself that you want to hit 25, 30 to 35, 40, something like that? Or you just kind of take it for how it comes and how often the puck goes in the net?
Yeah, I think you always have a little bit of a goal in the back of your head. You know, even if you scored 0 goals last year, I think you're still going to have a goal coming in the season. So, you know, I think for me, I want to be anywhere between 40 and 50. You know, I want to take a jump from last year. You know, I have a full season this year. I'm not missing out, hopefully, cross fingers.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think I want to take a little bit of a bigger jump this year.
Well, it's the one thing that, you know, when you play team sports, sometimes people get confused that, you know, because there obviously is team play, there's the systems you work on, but you're always going to hear coaches say, you've got to make plays. I mean, that's what separates you. I mean, you work within a framework, but I need my best players to make plays. That's the separating factor. And it's also a motivating factor. And like, look, for instance, as I said, you know, you come out of your own end, there's the, you know, the PK, the power play, all those things that are system based, but in order for your team to move forward, you simply have to make plays. That's an individual thing. It's like the one-on-one battles. That's not a team thing. That's just your own will against theirs. And I think that I don't know, as I said, I have a feeling this year is going to be like an exceptional year for you. I think that you're going to be very motivated. It's so early, but I mean, there's definitely signs that you guys are going to take that next step forward. And these seasons, as much as they go by quick, like we're sitting here, it's really early, but as you know, James, next thing you know, we're getting close to Christmas. And once you get on the other side, you start talking about playoffs. So this does go by fast for you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, I mean, Christmas is pretty much right around the corner, and then right from there, like trade deadline, and then it's go time. It's push for the playoffs, push to get your spot in the playoffs, and then hopefully fight for a NHL championship. It flies. Like it's junior hockey is the time of someone's life, and it flies.
Yeah, it really does. Well, we look forward to, and again, people get in the rink. Dave, you want to get in here? One more time?
Yeah, quickly. We should just let our audience know that Friday is a Steelheads home opener against Ottawa, 7 o'clock start. So let's fill up the rink as much as we can, because I know there are restrictions, but it's nice to have you guys playing a home game after the first couple of weeks on the road, and best of luck this weekend in your pair of games, because I know you have to travel to Niagara, I think. But home game first, and good luck to you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
That is James Hardie joining us here this morning from your Mississauga Steelheads in the segment we like to call Meet the Steelheads. Great job, James, as all your teammates do. Look forward to it each and every week. It is